Hello and welcome to another episode of Alan Writes. We're working on the Hotel Paradiso, which I may change as a title eventually. We're working with Celtx, and I've taken the liberty of doing a bit with characters. Um, yeah. I can't flip over to my notes that I've compiled on Google Documents, but I had a chance to flesh out the characters a bit. And so on. What I really should do is have two screens up, and then I can, rather two monitors, so that I can have my notes up at the same time I have my other screen up. But this will be just as fun, and the important part is that I don't stop writing. Once you start writing, you better start writing. At least for as long as you can. Don't pause. Don't take too many breaks, because you'll never get back to it. All right. Luann Retton. I did a whole write-up on her as a character. She came following a tragedy in which basically her family, including young children, died of a miasma, some sort of a disease or condition from where her house was located. She was spared for reasons she doesn't understand, but she having nothing left back home, she fled. Well, she really fled. She traveled west like her ancestors had before her, and eventually reached the Hotel Paradiso. Her revelatory experience involved a coyote that she thought was a dog, and she learned the value of fortitude. In terms of that, she already had temperance and prudence, but now she had fortitude to back it up. And one of the reasons she elected to stay here at the hotel rather than move on is because she doesn't really understand the concept of justice. Life isn't kind or fair in her estimation. I mean, after all, her husband and children were taken from her for reasons. If God had a reason, she doesn't know it. But she's willing to stick it out to the end and help others find their path. So. Behind the counter. And magazine modern science, aged and in its title about the Voyager probe. Reading a magazine. She smiles politely as Darcy approaches. I'm going to use their last name in there. That way we always know who the Rettons are. Welcome, Paradiso. We don't get many. Are you just passing through? No, we'll need rooms. Lovely. I'm Luann Retton, pod owner, caretaker, and you're welcome here. Do you know how long? Is this just for the night? instance. One removes a key from nearby. What do you call those? Darcy. Then tilts her shoulder. Luann, 3 more keys. I'm not going to make 2 of them. Everybody gets their own room. Everybody gets their own room. I should name these rooms. That would be a good idea. It's 2 more keys. Oops. Clearing things out. The hotel's 10. There's the Venus suite. The Vulcan. There's the Venus, the Vulcan. Oh, I want to keep this in things with the first is the moon. The Luna, the Venus, and the Vulcan. Planet themes? Really? Okay, and then we'll get to Winston. Dibs on the Vulcan. I like the heat. You'll like this one. Then you'll like it. Each has a planetary symbol on it. The removal clears so 10 chambers, 10 different planets, 10 different stages of the ascent to heaven. Yeah, I suppose that's enough. Let's not draw it. Also, by restricting it, I make sure that they can't have additional. It limits where we go with the narrative part of the story. Um, all right, see Darcy and pockets the lunar. The Balkan. Darcy tosses the last keychain. To Venus. Oh, come on. I get the girly sweet. And then I get the I'm certainly not taking it. Just size. The keychain. And pouts off toward the front porch. I've gotten them all together. I now need to separate them in order to let their stories start to play out. Instant pockets his own keychain. And then notices a vending machine. This is something of an inspiration I had earlier. Let's work it in here. This is a vending machine in the corner. It contains all manner of impudent, imprudent, carnal, of culinary, caloric delights. Let's not be too on the nose here. You gotta soften things up. All manner of caloric delights, including bluebells, marshmallow. He glances back at Darcy, finds her talking with Luann. Some depth, and reaches his wallet. But the machine accepts only dimes. But the analog. No, never mind. It's been to find Mr. Renton. I forget his first name. It's okay. We'll move on. I've never seen sells bluebells. At least not for years. Are they fresh? Expect so. Roasted? Yes, it is. And so, Renton pulls a jangly key cord. He opens the machine. All right, so machine not work. Works fine, just not like. Mr. Renton passes. How much? $0.20. You can bill your room. $0.20. No need. Here, man. You're right. Staying along? Mr. Caritas. Mr. Renton knows that name. Okay, that came out of nowhere. Mr. Renton knows that name. Go along. Man, he killed a long. Coming around. Breton smiles. Because I've forgotten his first name. First name. Baker and pleased to meet you. Sam. Two men shake hands. Darcy and Luann finish up their, what do you call it? Cash fund? Always is. Sign your real name. Darcy looks up. Discreet here. Can't be paradise. Watch it. Could use some of that. If you're hungry. Next to can't miss it. That line passes slip of paper. Reads the paper. Discretion. Wi-Fi. That's the Wi-Fi plan. Is that a reminder? That's the Wi-Fi password. That's the Wi-Fi password when you're done. It's the Wi-Fi password when you're done. That's the Wi-Fi password when you're done. I expect you. Is that a reminder? Oh god, this reminds me of Doctor Strange. Well, fine, whatever. Stomps about. Stomps about the cracked earth. For a signal. For a signal from her phone. A single tricky signal bar. Need to be closer to the parlor. Alright. I do not know who this character is who's coming in. I'll have to figure it out. But I do know that her password is patience. Winston's is something else. All have a different one. Different rooms, right? At least that's the explanation. Alright, because I don't want to go too mystical with it from the get-go, and I don't want to go too realistic either, because it's boring. And we'll find an easy bit between the two. And I think we're done, because I need to develop a character that Jess is going to run into. And then we're basically going to put some balls in the air and have a variety of scenes where people talk and they try to suss things out, and we bring to light, what Darcy's great offense was when she slept with an underwear model, male underwear model. Her husband had died 10 years ago, and she wanted somebody. She just wanted to be loved again. And unfortunately, in our current culture, women in power tend not to be able to have liaisons like that and just walk away from it, especially if they're political, because when everything is politics, well, somebody's going to use something against you. Man or woman, to be honest. All right. I don't know how many pages this is, but it feels like I need to get to the meat of the story pretty quick. So, that's the thing with screenplays, is I only get so many passages of, this is interesting, and something better happen. And I'll have to think on that. I don't know where it's going, but I do know that I'm going to continue to write it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Alan Writes. Stay safe and take care out there, all right? Thanks.